Jigar, you are selling honey in a toothpaste style stick, which is
Yes.
really unique. Did you ever had an incident when someone accidentally brushed their teeth with it at the breakfast table?
Not really brush anything with that. But yeah, our whole idea was to make the consumption of honey mess free and convenient and portable. You know, honey hasn't been given justice even after being placed at such a high pedestal. We don't consume honey as much as we should.
How do you take that criticism when people say that honey extraction is a part of animal exploitation?
The processes are evolving and improving in extraction of honey and making sure that there's no crude method or harmful methods used to extract honey. Honey should not be consumed by infants because it leads to a disease called infant botulism.
What's more harder, product innovation or customers' education?
Customers' education. You can innovate a product, but if your customer does not understand that product, your innovation is of no use. We were the pioneers in bringing the single serves in the market. Now we have a couple of more brands who've come, but quality is our main core.
Any moment of yours when you thought like Honey Twigs was not a correct choice for me?
Oh, many moments.
Namaskar, welcome to JIMS Founder Series. Today we are joined by Mr. Jigar Mehta, co-founder of Network Foods Private Limited, a company behind Honey Twigs, a brand that has brought revolution in how we consume honey. With a background of theatre and live events, Jigar's journey in food industry is as unique as his innovative approach to healthy living. Jigar, welcome to JIMS Founder Series.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for the lovely introduction that you've just given.
Jigar, you are selling honey in a toothpaste style stick, which is
Yes.
really unique. Did you ever had an incident when someone accidentally brushed their teeth with it at the breakfast table?
Not really brush anything with that. But yeah, our whole idea was to make the consumption of honey mess free and convenient and portable. So
Okay.
that was the whole idea behind launching a single serve. I would not say like a toothpaste, but like a single serve sachet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
That you can carry around with you.
Okay, so you started your journey with managing theatre. You worked
Yes.
with different artists and production team. You have your own dance studio. You have worked for live events also. And then you moved to food industry where you have
Right.
co-founded a brand that's redefining how we consume honey. So
Right.
that's quite a leap from entertainment to FMCG. Was there any defining moment or experience that made you switch gears?
So I did theatre production, and I used to work with Ashley in Dance Works as my first job, where the theatre bug got me. And for almost 10 years, I worked in theatre production, live events, backstage management. I did 2 films also as production
Oh, great.
manager. Then I decided to go and study again after a gap of 10 years. And I did my master's from UK.
Okay.
And that was actually the defining moment that you're referring to. My dissertation and my entire thesis and my master's was based on honey. And the
Okay.
idea of Honey Twigs came from there. But I came back to India after finishing my education. And I started working with Kingdom of Dreams in Gurgaon.
Okay.
So my last job was at Kingdom of Dreams for 2 years, I think. I was the head showrunner. But, there was always that thing in my head that I want to start my own. I want to do something on my own. I want to have my own business, but I didn't know what. Then I suddenly remember that I had written this dissertation where my professor had actually written, "This is a brilliant idea. Don't let it go to waste."
Oh,
So I
that's
dug that
great.
whole thing out, reread it. And yeah, that's how Honey Twigs was born.
Oh, that's so great. So, honey has been around since years, and this is one of the oldest natural foods we know, but
Yes.
it wasn't very trendy or cool until Honey Twigs came along. So, when and how did you realize that people need fresh ways to enjoy honey? And when you came up with this idea of, honey in twigs, what was the initial reaction of your consumers and investors? Did they scratch their head?
No, so you're correct about honey being a really ancient food. Like it has its mentions in all civilizations, Egyptian civilization, I think beyond that, before that also in Indus Valley and all of that. But, I've always noticed honey was a very granddaddy product in terms of packaging and the way it was sold. You always saw bottles on the shelves. You always saw yellow labels on every brand. There was no color involved. It was, I mean, even in our Indian history, if you see, honey has been placed very high up in Ayurveda or any other, religious books, even be it Hinduism, Islam, anywhere, honey has a very pious and a very high position.
Correct.
But unfortunately, honey hasn't been given justice, is what I feel. Even after being placed at such a high pedestal, we don't consume honey as much as we should.
Okay.
Unfortunately, honey became a very medicinal product in India rather than a lifestyle product. So if you look at the West, especially European countries, it's a lifestyle product. It's a part of your daily lifestyle. In India, we only touch honey when we are not well or if we decided to lose weight. Beyond that, we're not
Correct.
consuming on an everyday basis. So that's the whole idea of Honey Twigs, that we wanted to make the consumption of honey so easy that you can carry it with you, consume it wherever you are. So before we started the business, we did a small survey with some consumers to understand how they consume honey, what are their thoughts about honey. So it was very interesting to find out that the reason we don't consume honey every day is it's out of laziness. Who will open a bottle, dip a spoon, and if it drips, who's going to clean that afterwards?
That's my problem
Yeah.
too.
So then we said, why not introduce a pack where you can carry it with you, have it wherever you are. If you're stuck in a jam, just open one, have it. And
Correct.
also, treat honey as an energy booster. Take it to the gym while you're working out, playing sports. So, change the way honey is looked at by just changing the packaging. So that was the whole concept behind that. And obviously quality was our foremost priority, to give the best quality Indian honey to our consumers without any adulteration. And then we sort of figured, as we went along, we found a lot of consumers who said, but I don't like the taste of honey. Then we said, let's come out with variants.
Yeah.
So all the variants that we have today are made with natural products. Like vanilla infused honey, we use natural vanilla pod powder and natural vanilla extract. Lemon honey has natural lemon concentrate. The turmeric honey, we actually get the turmeric from Meghalaya, which is the Lakadong
Oh,
turmeric
okay.
with the highest curcumin content. Cinnamon honey has cinnamon powder. Similarly, ginger has ginger powder. And the new entrant, which is the Meetha Pan infused honey, has
that's
natural
nice.
pan extract infused with our premium honey.
So how many variants as of
In
now?
all, right now, we have 2 natural variants, which is the number 1 and the best seller is Himalayan Multiflora, which is your regular honey. The second natural variant is natural lychee honey, which is made from the nectar of the lychee flower.
Okay.
And then comes the infusions, which are cinnamon infused, vanilla infused, lemon, turmeric, ginger, and pan. So in totality, 8 variants
Okay.
is what we have today.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
For a successful FMCG brand, product, packaging, and positioning, these are the big 3.
Right.
In your journey, which one of them played the most critical role, and which one did you underestimate at the beginning?
I think product was our main hero from day one, because we wanted to give a good consumer experience. Placement is something that we didn't figure initially. And it was sort of a shocker, because initially we started in retail. But we had a very big cafe, and that time one of the biggest chains in India, who approached us saying that we want this in our cafes. We use honey in bottles, but we have problems with the bottles. Sometimes the bottle breaks, sometimes extra is put in the drink.
Yes.
So we want portion control. So that's where we entered B2B. And we quickly realized that B2B was a bigger segment for us. So it was a switch from retail to B2B. And then came exports. So we got a good sort of appreciation in the international market also. So all 3 combined sort of now today comprise of our business.
So you've turned a traditional, product into something that fits really well into fitness bags,
Right.
on airline trays, even in your child's lunchbox.
Right.
So was this the vision, or the vision evolved over time with customers' feedback?
I would say it evolved. Like I said, we started with retail. My initial thing was to just offer a portable way of consuming honey to the consumer. But as time went along and as new case studies started coming in with the consumer, we are using it for this, we are using it for that. And then one of the airlines got in touch with us
Okay.
that we want to serve it on board. So we were like, hey, that's a new avenue, you know. So every time a new consumer comes to us, we think that's a great avenue to service. And I think we still have two big avenues left. One is hospitals, and the other is schools in the cafeteria. So yes, mothers are packing twigs now in the
Yes, they
lunch
are.
boxes and giving it to their kids. But you know, I feel that honey habit should be inculcated with very early on, so that you know the kids grasp on to a healthier sweetener compared to a candy or more of
Correct.
sugar.
Right, right. Today's consumer is very smart. They read labels
Right.
and they want to know where the product is coming from. They want all kind of transparency.
Right.
How do you ensure that people trust everything what's inside every pack of Honey Twigs? How do you build that trust right from, hive to the hands of the customer?
So on our box, we try to give the maximum information when it comes to nutritional information. Everything is mentioned there. Even our warnings, like I think I don't know if that's a huge claim to make, but I think we were the first brand in India to actually print that honey should not be consumed by infants because it leads to a disease called infant botulism. In India, still it is not a practice to print that warning on the label, but in the West, it's a practice. So we
Okay.
print that warning on our boxes. Even our ingredient is just one ingredient, which is honey. So there's no other preservative because honey is a preservative in itself. In our infused honey, whatever the ingredient is to give the variant, you know, that's mentioned as an ingredient. But also the story of what we, you know, actually the checks that we do is printed on the box, that it's checked in international quality standard labs. We use the best ingredients. You know, we only use unadulterated honey. We follow sustainability. So all of that we mention. And also time to time, what we do is we pick a random batch of our honey and we send it for testing to an international standard lab and compare the values. So to make sure that the quality that we are giving to our consumers is 100% pure. And you know, the consumer care number that's mentioned on the box is actually a direct line to my telephone. So anytime a consumer has a complaint or has a query, I'm the one to answer that query for them.
Okay.
So be it crystallization, be it anything, it's my duty to help the consumer understand, or if the consumer is not happy, I offer them a free replacement.
Oh, that's the action you
know,
take
so
of the negative
I just have to make
reviews.
sure that my consumer is happy. So
Have
yeah.
you ever got stuck into any kind of quality check?
Not stuck actually in quality checks, but it's, you know, a lot of times people don't know that honey has a way of storage. Honey has to be stored away from the sun because there are certain values which go up and down because it's a natural product, right?
Correct.
So when you don't store honey properly, or if honey interacts a lot with the atmosphere, there are changes that happen in it because these are natural chemical reactions that take place in honey. So because of that, a lot of times the consumers complain that, you know, X happened to my honey, or it's gone darker or something. So, but it's all about the storage. You have to keep honey away from direct sunlight. It should not be refrigerated. It should be in ambient temperature. The
Okay.
more it interacts with the sun, the darker it gets. So these are few things that if they take care of these things, you can store your honey for a longer period of time.
Jigar, many people, especially strict vegans, they believe that commercial honey production disrupts bee colonies. It harms bees while extraction. It involves practices like queen replacement and wing clipping. How do you take that criticism when people say that honey extraction is a part of animal exploitation?
So earlier the practices were very different, and what you're talking about used to happen because we were extracting honey out of wild hives which were found in the forest, or you know, any hive hanging on a tree. So there a lot of bees were killed, you know, to extract honey, and the methods that were being used to extract honey were also very crude, if I may put it that way. You know, people used to squeeze the hive out, so used to have a lot of larvae which used to die in that process. But as the technology and, you know, the beekeeping culture has evolved, now beekeeping is actually known as apiculture, which falls under the Ministry of Agriculture in India. So it's an agricultural practice also. A lot of new practices have come into being. So, you know, in a bee box, we have trays that are kept inserted in the bee box. Every time a queen bee is attached to the tray, the colony is kept. The colony builds on the tray.
Okay.
And whatever the excessive honey that drips out is extracted for consumption. So we always leave 40% of honey behind for the bees to feed on and build on further. we don't take 100% honey out, because we want the colonies to survive. Only then we will get the honey. If we keep killing the bees, we are not going to get honey, right? And also the way you extract is you remove all the bees very carefully from the tray. You put it in a centrifugal extractor where it's just rotated like a washing machine,
Okay.
It's rotated, all the honey drips out, and the trays are again taken and put it back into the hive. So the larvae are not hurt. We make sure bees are not hurt. So the processes are evolving and improving in extraction of honey and making sure that there's no like crude method or harmful methods used to extract honey. But yeah, veganism, anything made by animals or insects is not consumed. So honey is a product which they don't consume as vegans.
Correct. So bees, they play a very critical role in pollination
Yes.
and biodiversity. But do you still worry that honey extraction in a product for sale, even if it is done in a sustainable manner, it disturbs the natural balance between nature, bees, and human needs?
I don't think it disrupts the balance, because if there is excess production, it's going to waste. It's going to drip out of the hive, right? And we are not disturbing anything that the bees are doing. In fact, when you take these boxes and keep it next to a field, it improves the yield quality of the field also. So if you go to agricultural farmlands, you'll always see bee boxes around them, because that helps in pollination, like you said, and it increases the yield of that particular plant or that particular place where the bee boxes are kept. So in a way, this is a very good process of having a good balance, of increasing the yield, having the honey also for consumption. And like we said, we don't extract all the honey out of the hives. So we are leaving something back for the bees also, so that they are not starving.
So your business is going really well, and when our business is going well, giving back to the society is very important. So besides this, what other sustainable practices are you following?
So we do one very big practice besides, not extracting 100% honey, which is known as plastic neutrality, because we pack our single serves in food grade plastic laminates. And we don't want to add to the plastic problem that exists in the environment. So we work with an ethical waste management company. We tell them how much plastic that we've consumed or packaging material we've consumed over a period of a financial year. And then we tell them that kindly remove this much of plastic from the environment on our behalf. So for instance, last year we funded the removal of approximately 12.5 tons. And that also offsets our footprint in the environment. And I particularly feel that till the time we have a sustainable solution or an alternative to plastic, which is more environmental friendly. Today we have compostable plastic, but it's not food grade certified. So we can't package food in that. And also the shelf life is very less for that. So my shelf life is 18 months. If the compostable plastic dies in 6 months, again, the plastic will disappear. The honey will be out in the box.
Correct.
Also, this is a very huge topic that I can go on and on about. But I feel if every company who deals in plastic starts doing plastic neutrality, I don't think we'll have a plastic problem, because it's sustainably removed. It's either recycled or repurposed, or the plastic that cannot be recycled, repurposed is disposed ethically and will not float in your landfills and water bodies. Also, I feel is, the main thing starts at home. We need to start segregating the plastic, the material that we use. Half of us, we talk about all of this, but we don't do it.
Practice it. Yes.
Yeah, we don't practice what we preach. So if you start segregating at source, it becomes easier for disposal of that material.
Correct.
Without stressing any other material. So
life would be easier.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So you've taken Honey Twigs to global markets now.
Yes.
What is the biggest challenge in taking Indian wellness brand international? Is it a regulatory challenge, perception, supply chain? What exactly do you face?
So I won't say these are challenges, but every country has their own regulatory body, right? And especially when it comes to food, every country has the norms. Every country is strict about what they import, the quality, everything. So unfortunately, in India, still beekeeping is a very rural industry. It's still a very agricultural industry.
True.
We don't have 100% traceability. So that's why working with EU countries is a little tough for us, because EU regulations are really, really strong. But India does export a lot of honey. It's the 5th largest exporter of honey to the world. So we do export a lot to the Middle East, the Gulf, GCC countries. We do export a lot to the US.
Okay.
We do export to other countries also. So, but we have to follow the norms of every country that we export to, and we have to
Correct.
take care of, what the regulations are, even
Yes.
from printing bilingual languages on the boxes to making sure what nutritional content or any regulatory requirements that they might have. Again, product perception is something that, everyone is used to seeing honey in bottles. So when it comes in a stick format, it does take a certain amount
Easier.
of time
Yes.
for the consumer to adapt to it and understand, oh, this is still honey. This is not something different. But if you look at the West, there are a lot of brands which are still selling honey in single serves. So, I mean, for us, it's easier to sell in the West
Majority.
because it's already established as a product. While in domestic, we are still creating that market for ourselves.
So how many countries you would have touched?
Currently, if I'm not mistaken, we are in 9 countries, including Amazon USA, Amazon UK. We are in the Gulf, Bahrain, Oman, UAE. We are just shipping a
Total
consignment.
D2C?
So B2B and D2C, but bigger in exports is D2C,
D2C.
retail. Yeah.
Okay. So Honey Twigs is a very unique, very elegant name. What's the story behind?
Oh, this is very interesting because when I thought of getting into honey, I had some strange names in my mind which I don't even want to speak about.
Okay.
But thankfully, I had a friend who's also a designer, and she helped me come up with the logo, the naming of the product. So, twig actually means like a stick.
Yes.
So since this was packed in a stick format, so we said, let's keep it very simple. Let's not confuse the consumer, because brand is what is recognized by the consumer, right? So if the product is not communicated by the brand name, often you get confused as to what your product is. So we said honey is honey, twigs is a stick. So let's
Okay.
just combine honey twigs together and keep it very, very simple. We don't want to overcomplicate our lives.
And if it was in Hindi, then what would be the name?
I
Shahad
really have
Dandi?
maybe. But we wanted a universal name that everyone can understand in
everyone
every
can
language.
understand. Yes,
so,
absolutely.
I mean, I did explore names like male and, in Europe, in different, what honey is called in different cultures. But again, it has to be a name which is universally known and accepted.
Accepted, yes. So as a founder, any belief or mindset that has helped you in your journey, especially in the moments when your business was not going as sweet as honey?
I think what we've realized is persistence is the story. You have to be persistent in what you do, but not be overconfident. Sometimes you feel your product is the best because you've created that product. But you also have to see, are your consumers accepting your product? If they're accepting your product, great. If they're not, what is the problem? And we've been through certain of this journey because when we launched our product, our outer packaging did not communicate as to what the product was. So we went again to the drawing board, redesigned our packaging. We came out with a new packaging. Then after 2 years of having 2 or 3 years of having that product in the market, we again did a survey. Do people, is the communication clear with the consumer? Do they understand what this product is? It was very interesting. A lot of people said that it feels like this is agarbatti. We've got some strange feedback
My God,
regarding this
doesn't
stick.
look like.
Someone said that, someone asked us, what do I do with it? Like, how do I consume it? Kya hai ye?
Oh.
And we had to tell them the way आप जैसे शहद use करते हो, this is honey. आप वैसे ही use करो इसको. But इतना सा, I said, yeah, this is 1 teaspoon. So it's a portion pack. So then we again realized that we need to put in more communication on the box for the
Correct.
consumer to understand how to consume it. So the packaging that we have now sort of answers most of our questions that the consumers ask. If they see the product, they sort of understand because we've put a picture of the product right in front of the box. So it's pretty visible, it's pretty clear as to what the product is. So yeah, we've been through iterations of, but overall the product hasn't changed. The product itself has been the same from when we started it. It's
Okay.
just the outer packaging has evolved over a period of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a product like yours, it touches wellness,
Correct.
sustainability, lifestyle. So is it a deliberate brand positioning or did it grow organically over time?
I think sustainability was the need of the hour, so we got into that. Wellness is something that we were always looking at because when we started the product, so me, my partner Paris, it's so I'll just quickly tell you a funny story that how
Yeah,
the
yeah,
product
sure.
evolved. So we were actually, sitting. He was that time in Bombay, and he was visiting Delhi, and we were out for a drink, and we were just sort of discussing our lifestyle because I used to work in Kingdom of Dreams. He was in a corporate job, and we had very erratic lifestyles. And we were trying to see how can we, bring our life on track. Like, and we realized food was the main thing. I was ordering from outside because, odd working hours. Most of the time it was, take out food. And sugar and salt are your two big vices, right? Today, sugar is rated next to cocaine because it has the same effect on the body and its same harmful effect as cocaine has on your body. Salt is also leading to a lot of problems health wise, like blood pressures and all of that. And most of our packaged food is really high on these two
Correct.
commodities initially. So we decided let's, sort of at least try and capture one element of it. And sugar was something that was easier for us because honey. And then I suddenly remembered my dissertation and I spoke to Paras about it, and he was like, "Yeah, let's try something in honey as a space." And honey has been in India for a long time, and it has not evolved. No one has disrupted that market. Maximum we've gone to is a squeezy bottle, nothing beyond that.
Yeah.
So let's try and disrupt this segment. So that's why we came into honey, and we thought that let's sort of see where it goes. And thankfully, I mean, the journey's been a little up and down, but now we see stability in the business, and the brand has got the recognition.
So shelf space in stores is limited
Yes.
and digital space is even more crowded. How
Right.
do you get people's attention in such a crowded space?
Initially, what we started doing was we started doing a lot of farmer markets or these food festivals like Grub Fest in Delhi, Pallet Fest. They used to have a food market section. So we used to put up a lot of stalls where we would sample the product. And because me and Paras were there always selling the product, so we could explain the consumer what the product is. We did a lot of in-store sampling also. So I remember when we got into food hall, which unfortunately shut down, we used to do a lot of sampling. And for us, sampling was very easy because there was no mess. So the guy who was sampling, our promoter, all we needed to give him was some tissue paper and sachets of sticks of
Yeah.
our honey twigs. That's all. Because you don't need a spoon, you don't need to make a mess. You just tear the top and give it to the consumer.
Yes.
And the whole idea was if I can make you consume honey while you're shopping, see the effects of it.
Correct.
Like you can carry it anywhere. You can put it in your tiffin box, in your
Shot of
office shelf.
energy. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can put it in your purse. You can, while playing sports, you can put it in your kit bag. So the usage was unlimited. So that's how the consumer started getting got attracted towards a product like that. But yes, shelf space is limited.
Yes.
On Amazon, we have to do a lot of digital advertising. We run our social media channel. We have to do all of that. Now it has evolved from retail to quick commerce. So now we are on quick commerce platforms also, where we do a bit of advertising also, so that the attention is pulled towards the brand. But thankfully now the brand name is known, so people do search for Honey Twigs directly.
But modern consumers, they have a very, very, short attention spans. They've got a
Right.
lot of choices.
Right.
So how do you get repeat customers in such a noisy market?
So that's very interesting. The repeat customers come due to the product, the way the product is designed. Also, we keep introducing flavors and variants, which keeps the attention of the consumer with us. Then even use cases like, let's say, lemon infused honey. In summers, if you mix 2 sticks of lemon infused honey in a glass of water, it becomes nimbu pani.
Correct.
So, those use cases help in acceptability of the product. Yes, new brands are coming in. We have competition. We were the pioneers in bringing the single serves in the market. Now we have a couple of more brands who've come. But quality is our main core. the quality, the flavor balance that we have in any variant, the products, the ingredients that we choose to use, that's very high standards. And quality will always remain at the heart of our product. So we are never going to compromise our quality, come what may. So if the quality is good, you will always have consumers reaching out for you.
Correct. So you've collaborated with airlines, you've collaborated with cafes and
Right.
fitness brands.
Right.
So when you pitch Honey Twigs for a partner product, what is your core message? Is it like convenience or quality, experience? What do you want to convey exactly?
I think it's a mixture of all three. Obviously, we have to study who we are pitching our product to. Like for aviation, there's an added advantage of weight. Glass bottles are heavier. They're tougher to clean up after used by the crew in the aircraft, right? And glass always is a threat. If the glass breaks, it can be used as a weapon. So our product is lightweight. It can be cleaned easy. There's no threat. It's easy to open. You don't need extra cutlery to take out the honey. So all those things add, but the consumer experience, the quality, and the convenience of the product is like combined three is what we sell to our partners. So I think these three are the core values of the product behind. So I can't choose one. I think it's a combination of good combination of all three together. So this is our newest entrant, which is the Meeta Pan infused honey. The flavor has been done. We've infused the natural pan extract with our honey. And even if you look at our twig, so this is the twig, it opens very easily from here. Honey will only pour from one side, so it actually makes it mess free. So that's the whole concept about the twig. And each twig has 8 grams of honey, which is a measured teaspoon. So it's very convenient for you to carry, and you can count the number of twigs you've actually consumed during a day.
Any moment of yours when you thought like Honey Twigs was not a correct choice for me?
Oh, many moments. Not single moment,
Share,
many,
please.
many moments. I still remember, so this is a very funny story. I still remember when I was setting up the brand and we were still working on the logo and, the colors to choose. And because it's a whole process, right? It keeps going on in your mind as to what's going to happen. So my parents told me that one day you were sleepwalking, you woke up, you came out in the living room, and they heard a noise and they came out and you were just mumbling things like, oh, my logo is finalized, my logo is finalized, and you went back to sleep. So these moments do happen. Initially when we started, so when the product, we've also evolved with the product and the product has evolved with over time, right? So initially we had some problems in our machines. We used to notice leaks happening in honey because honey is viscous. The leak is not instant. It happens over a period of time. So I still remember when initially our first lot was introduced in the market in Delhi, I used to visit every shop and see how it was selling. And I would see these leak marks at the bottom of the box. And I would buy that own product. My thing was, I don't want the consumer to see a bad product on shelf because that gives out a brand image, a bad brand image. I would pick up the products and I would buy it. And the shopkeeper is telling me, sir, ye leak ho raha hai. I'm like, doesn't matter. I want to buy it. And I would pay for it and bring it back home. Then for a while, we stopped selling in the market. We went back to our machines and figured out why is there leaks happening. So when we conquered that, then we reintroduced the product back into the market. And it was difficult to convince the store owner that, now there'll be no leaks, now there'll be no complaints because they had received some complaints. So initially I used to go out with our, sellers, distributors to convince the store owners that, it'll perform well. You keep it for 1 week. If there's any problem, don't pay for it.
Okay.
But whatever sale you make, then you give us the money. So we had to reassure the store also that, it's not a bad product. Just try it. It's a new product. Yes, it will take time for acceptability, but you have to give it some time. Again, sorting machines, all of that, because this was something which was never done. And I'm not from an engineering mechanical background, but I've still learned all of this on the job. So figuring it all out together, putting all the pieces of the puzzle together is something that you have to do in every business or a new concept that you launch. So
Interesting.
Went through that entire phase.
Yeah. So biggest challenge and biggest risk that you took in your journey?
Risk was getting into a business which did not exist, the market which did not exist. I would say that was the biggest risk with all my savings, capital, family, parents, they've all helped us. And I think today we are reaping the benefits of it. Challenge in honey, there are a couple of challenges because there are a lot of consumer education that needs to be passed on regarding the product itself, like myths like crystallization and consumption of honey. And so we still get those calls, but I don't think they're challenges anymore. There were challenges initially, but this is a part of the process. But initial challenge was how to sell the product. A product which does not exist, which people are not familiar with. How do you make sure that they accept that product? So that was, I feel, one of the biggest challenges. And now, since we are in so many places, we are visible quite openly in a lot of cafes,
yes, very much.
So yeah, we are known now.
Very
so
much, yes.
That challenge, I feel, has been overcome.
So tell us something about your childhood, your education, and the theatre work that you've done.
I was a really bad student in school and my undergrad.
Just like me.
I was really, really bad. I think my mother and father would stand, witness to that. But I always knew that I wanted to do something. Theatre happened very accidentally to me because I started working with Danceworks, a dance studio by Ashley Lobo. Back in 99 was my first job. I think not even 99, 98, 96.
Okay.
So yeah, one of these years. And they were doing a play where, I auditioned to be a dancer and I failed miserably.
Oh.
But I was like, I still want to be a part of this. So they said, why don't you, Ashley's wife actually recommended, why don't you help me backstage? I said, sure. That was my first play and that's where I caught the bug. And I loved what was going on stage and the whole energy and, problem solving and all of that. That was something that really caught on to me. So I continued that, working with different names. I've worked with people like Shabana Azmi, Nanta Das, Zora Sehgal,
Nice.
big directors like Royston Abel, Lilith Dubey, and some international like the Australian Shakespeare Repertoire Company. So I've handled their backstage whenever the play came to Delhi or Bombay. Did some theatre in London also when I was studying. So we found this group of Indian students who had set up a theatre company. So I worked with them on a couple of plays there. So that sort of helped me to, how to handle problems. Because in theatre, you work with the lowest person and the highest person. So that whole chain of how to
Correct.
solve problems in the middle, that sort of helps you to understand that, how to deal with people, how to talk with people, how to make sure your work is done. So I think that journey was really amazing. To now, it's a very up and down, different trajectories. I worked with my father also in the middle.
Okay.
So it's been a mixture of a lot of things that has helped me come here.
So you are from a business background, right?
Yes, my father ran a business in cosmetic raw materials. So that was actually where my initial love of honey started, because his core product was beeswax, which back in the day used to come from forest, because apiculture was not huge back in 80s, late 80s, early 90s. So a lot of times the people who used to send beeswax would send us a tin of honey saying the crop has been good this time, you guys try at home. So my initial memory is, sitting down with a sheet of cloth and filtering that honey and then filling it in jars and giving it to all our friends and family around.
Wow.
So I think that's where my love for honey started, and it sort of stayed on. But doing something on my own comes from my father, because he created something from zero. Because we are not originally from Delhi. We migrated, and he was also into something very different, and he left that and moved to Delhi. So that whole, thing of striving for your own thing and building something on your own, I think comes from my father to me.
Very, very interesting story. I'll ask you a few quick questions, Jigar.
Sure.
So, what's more harder, product innovation or customers' education?
Customers' education.
Why?
You can innovate a product, but if your customer does not understand that product, your innovation is of no use.
Correct. Okay, so crystallized honey is impure. Myth or reality?
Myth. Because honey has a self-defense mechanism. Whenever honey crystallizes, it's defending itself from the temperature change that is happening. So if honey has been extracted in a winter month, it will tend to crystallize in summer months. If the honey has been extracted in summer months, it will tend to crystallize in winter months. But this is the biggest myth that exists world over, not only in India, world over, that crystallized honey means there's sugar added to it. Like a very simple experiment. You take a glass of water, mix 3-4 spoons of sugar in it, place it on the table. Will it crystallize on its own? No, till you
No.
give it a temperature change, right? So honey has natural chemistry at play. So, and honey should always be stored at ambient temperature. Changes are happening. It's like stopping a banana from going black. You
Okay.
can't. So honey will crystallize depending on its sugar molecules, its chemistry, all of that.
We should not consume honey in summers. Myth or reality?
Biggest myth. People say that honey is hot for summer. It's just because you can't refrigerate it, right?
Yes.
The two main sugars are glucose and fructose. In summers, people consume glucose. Why? We consume mango, which is known as hot.
Yeah.
And it gives you breakouts on your skin, but everyone loves mangoes in the
Yeah.
summer.
Absolutely.
Poor honey has done nothing to you. Don't treat it like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Consumers' taste or pricing strategy, which one is more challenging?
That's a tough one. I want to say both, but pricing strategy is something that you have to keep in mind to a large extent. You can't overprice a product also in the name of that, hey, I have a very different variant coming out, or I can't undersell a cheap product and make it really cheap also, like not have the correct quality consistency in the product and sell it really cheap. So I think it has to be a mix, a good balance of both to achieve product acceptability or the consumer offtake.
Right. So, product thinking or people management, which is your strength?
Both. Because I manage the factory in Delhi, so I deal with my staff firsthand, and because I'm the chief product officer of the company, so I innovate products also. So but to come out with any product, we are not in a rush. We take at least 4 to 5 months finding the correct ingredients, getting the perfect taste palette. Our newest launch, which is the Meetha Pan infused honey. Initially, everyone was like, how are you going to do honey and pan? But right now, it's like the top seller on our website.
Oh, great.
It's selling like hotcakes. People are buying 5 boxes in one go.
Oh, wonderful.
So we have few more Indianized flavors in the basket that we want to launch. So look out for this space. I'm not going to reveal what flavors, but yeah, I mean, sometimes it takes longer than expected because we want to find the perfect flavor, the balance which appeals to the masses and not a particular segment.
Okay.
So
great.
yeah.
What advice you're going to give it to the aspiring entrepreneurs?
I think the biggest advice is be persistent. You might have good days and bad days. Don't let it bring you down. It's not going to be a rosy journey, trust me. There are going to be bumps around when you start something on your own. There might be times where you'll be completely pulled down. But remember why you're here. Be it anything. And even if your product fails, don't be disheartened.
Yeah.
Because, you've studied a lot of entrepreneurs. If you listen to their journey, a lot of them, their 15th product changed the world, or their 100th product changed the world, or at age of 60 or 70, KFC was founded. So stories like these are inspiring. So there's never say die attitude in an entrepreneur that you need. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You need to learn how to pivot and get into something else or start something else. So yeah, but like I said, don't be overconfident also. Have that confidence, but don't go crazy about it. Take your time off. You need a downtime. I sort of disagree with the hustle culture today because if you hustle too much, you'll get burnt out.
Yeah.
You need to take time off. You need to recuperate, get back into action again. So with a fresh mind and a fresh attitude. So follow a good lifestyle, a balanced lifestyle. Go out, party, no one's stopping you from that. But put in that extra hard work also to sort of compensate for the time that you've lost.
What a great advice. And it was a wonderful, wonderful conversation with you. It was just like a shot of, honey energy. Thank you
you.
so much for being on the show.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Mr. Jigar Mehta's journey is a testament to how bold ideas, backed by purpose, can transform even the most traditional product. We wish Honey Twigs a continued success, and with this, I conclude my 12th episode of JIMS Founder Series. Dhanyavad.